Hey guys, yeah, 2 o'clock. Welcome back in. Couple hours left to go here on a pretty interesting afternoon. Pretty flat for the overall market. We are, as the guys were mentioning, they're still in positive territory, but a bit of a wait and see ahead of an important day to come tomorrow. If you miss it this morning, again, get set. It's all about June CPI, June inflation, going to come through for us at 8:30 pre-market tomorrow. Frank Caberna going to come up here in about 45 minutes or so. We'll talk to him, get a preview of what to expect and what it means for the overall market. We'll talk about the dollar and yields back to the downside, as I was mentioning this morning, if you were with us, back to the downside ever so slightly today. But all about a wait-and-see approach, really. I mean, if you take a look at tech in general, I'll show you the NASDAQ here coming up, but here's Apple, 0.63, just hanging out at yesterday's low. Still a ton of support coming into play for a number of these big-time tech names. There it is. Downside ever so slightly. These boxes made the size representing the market cap of the individual stocks. But Google and Meta still nicely positive on the day. Microsoft basically flat. NVIDIA basically flat. AVGO, Broadcom was positive early on. Since gone back to negative territory. AMD downside 3%. NVIDIA we mentioned this morning. Amazon still 1% to the upside on a couple of positive notes from some analysts this morning. There's Visa and MasterCard representing a nice chunk of the gains so far today as well. Tesla under pressure continues to kind of slide back downside, but overall a mixed board, kind of leaning to the green side. Here is the Qs or the NASDAQ kind of chopping around inside of the range right now. Didn't even get down to yesterday's low and then held up nicely. So dips bought successfully once again. I saw a couple of people still mentioning Boeing, still a nice move for Boeing today, coming off that deliveries number. If you missed it, just as we went off at 11 o'clock there, they came out with Q2 delivery numbers that were better than expected. Here we go, 136, in fact, in Q2, which was better than expected for Boeing. If you're with us early on this morning, I'll flip back over here to the Qs. We were talking about this that is coming up on the 24th of this month. We'll get this special rebalance of all the tech names. There was a couple minor headlines involving Apple, Microsoft that we were dealing with this morning, Amazon, as I mentioned, a couple of positive notes from analysts. Positive note, Wells Fargo, in fact, joining Goldman Sachs yesterday, if you remember, adding NVIDIA to their what was it called? Prestige list or something like that? I'll double check again, but something fancy. Anyways, let's get into what we were talking about. If you're with us in the pre-market this morning, it was all about big tech once again this morning, guys. Get set for a special rebalance. Overall, as we saw with Apple there, the market kind of shrugs that off and has basically chopped around all day.
Yo, 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 we're back.
We're back.
Guess who's back? Yeah, we're not the ones with the hair, but Shady's gone again. He's gone to go get lunch. Actually, he was eating on the show, so shout out to Prad. Finally went platinum there. And I like that view. That's really psychedelic. Oh, darn it. That was really nice for once there for a second there. Yeah, welcome, guys, back to the show. What a crazy afternoon, I think.
Oh, yeah.
We could be either in store for and or just had. And we had a big run of Meta right up there to $300. And yeah, man, we tried the 300 break. And yeah, about that. It broke my back. You had a nice 298 long into it at least, which gave
but I gave that all back on taking that 300 break.
I had a 299 long as well. That didn't. That got squash out right there. Yes, I'm referring to the Slim Shady Eminem song there when we were saying, guess who's back? Back again.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Max is back. Tell a friend. You know, there he is, right there. He's in the back there. Brown M&M is in the building right there. Actually, I like the brown M&Ms. They're pretty good, the brown M&Ms. What's your favorite M&M?
Don't they all taste the same?
No, they don't. No, they taste
I'm
different.
pretty sure they don't taste different.
What?
The different colors of M&Ms, isn't it all just chocolate with candy on the outside?
No, they like the red one would taste like red food coloring, for example. It's all food coloring, right? I mean, come on, people have favorite M&Ms, don't they? I don't know. Maybe they don't. I don't know. Skittles are different. That's for sure.
Skittles
some are like different. Fruity. Some are like this and that. Anyways, okay. We still have Coinbase short. Like, what was up with that? Does anybody even know what was going on with Coinbase earlier? Like, hello, we're still short some 92s. It went down to 87.50. We actually had the short early. We took this trade right in front of everybody. So we were short, got blasted out at 92. Then we saw that big tall wick. Look at the volume that was happening as we were ripping up there. So we definitely noticed that, and that's what got us excited about it. There's the push up. We knew it was going to fade out at some point, or did we? And then there it was down. So we make that dollar back. Then we make three, 92. That's an 89 fill. And right now we just bounced off 87 and change. So this is the biggest winner for me today. It's a $3 club member, but we talked about Meta a little bit. We're going to go over that in a second. But here we go, man. You know, I was saying this in the midday show, but yeah, we took that out $300. There's some of our longs begin with $2.99, so we did have $1 in the money or about. Then all of a sudden this happened. Then we started to average in. We got a little bit out at $2.99.50, realizing that we were wrong. But then I was like, nah, we're gonna hold around here $2.98.50, and so we did not. Then when we broke $2.98.50, which is where we should have got out, it quadunked again, which this is a quadunk. This is the biggest move of the day, despite, I guess, that first move, where we bounced off $297.50, and now going right back up to the upside, we were able to get long again and make some money. We've been making good money off these last couple longs, but still, it's this problem, as you can see up there, at 300. That's twice, man. I've gotten burned by Meta twice now, near that $300 level. First was the first day. We're going long 298 and got out 296. And then here today, it's almost like, deja vu one more time there, Max. But
it feels like every day I'm getting burned by Meta, thinking that break is going to come and be good. So, I stopped trading Meta. Now I'm back onto this Carvana, taking out these consolidation highs here. So I just go long on that consolidation. Looking for, once again, that 36.50 to break. Looking like, we've done everything that we have to do. Higher lows all day on Carvana. Looks like it wants to break out for this end of day rally. Maybe we get some power hour volume sending us to the high. This is reminding me of, was it yesterday that it did this same thing, or was it Friday? I don't know. I don't remember. Yeah, Carvana looking like it wants to break out. So we are long one more time on this one today.
Brendo.
All right, let's touch on this EA story a little bit here. If you missed it early on, not EA, what am I talking about? It's ATVI. I want to mention EA, though, because it made a big move as well. Let me refresh. There you go. So is EA possibly going to be the next target here, up about 4.5%? I'll show you in a sec. But if you missed it, for anyone that was maybe working this morning or doing other things, a judge has blocked the FTC's attempt to put a preliminary injunction on the Microsoft Activision deal. So I saw a couple of people mentioning during lunchtime that this could close as soon as Monday, Microsoft buying ATVI. So EA, guys, 4.5% here. Can we, Fabian? No problem. Take your time. EA, 4.5% here. Took out that 134 last pivot high there. Back to the upside as well.
I mean, I think it does clear the way for an acquisition of EA. And I don't know if anybody's interested in them, but I do feel like if they're not going to block one major tech company from buying a gaming company like Activision Blizzard, which slowly has, quite a good Call of Duty, right, Rob, is Activision. There's probably must be another one. What's something else Activision has? Call of Duty's the big one. Anyways, tons of stuff. So anyways, we got to talk to some resident gamers. Maybe Brad would know a little bit more than that. But yeah, EA Sports, they have all those sports games. I could definitely see something happening. I know, and this is I'm just putting this out here. I didn't even think about it until just now. But, I have Apple TV and all that kind of stuff. And Apple, they do have, I think it's NBA 2K or something is free if you have the Apple subscription there. So, we play that a little bit there. And I could just see that, yeah. It makes sense. Netflix got into gaming, of course, with one of their games that I downloaded for my kid as well that Brad told me to get. So Netflix, Amazon, it's the Amazon gaming is what I was talking about. Netflix is also into gaming right now as well. What's that Amazon game called? But I just heard Pratt. Okay, I didn't. I always hear Pratt, I guess. Maybe dreams
Pratt's
and nightmares at the same time with that guy. But anyways, no, I think it does clear the way. And then look what happened to EA. If we're going to talk about what everyone else thinks about it, it's a clean break right there of 132. So that's a pretty good one. If you come over to the chart here quickly, Fabian, we'll be able to look at that. There's the break today. So there's the big sort of kind of FU candle right there to the FTC or whoever's going to try to block it. Boom, right there to the upside. And if you look at Activision Blizzard, I know you had some trades on it, so it's probably good to talk to you about the actual trading of it. But if you go back over to the daily chart, I think it was, what was it, last April? Where I think you're going to see a little bit of a bump up. Where was it? Whoopsies, I'm still on that. I'm not sure when the deal was now. So here it was right here. Again, sorry, January of 2022. Here's where it goes, $64 all the way up to the agreed upon price of what, 95? Is that what it is, or 92?
95 is the price, yeah.
So basically, you're giving a 50% premium sort of to where it was at that time, right? So $64 up to $95, and now finally getting that approval. So yeah, I mean, I guess it's not like Brendan said, we'll wait till it closes, but if someone's going to have to buy out EA, and they're going to be looking probably at a 30 to 50% premium, right? I mean, if that's what they gave Activision, why anything different for EA? So they're getting it started already here, up 5%. Nice play. If someone came to me and I was a shareholder of EA and said, hey, like, can we talk about this at 140, 145, some of these past highs? I'd be like, no, we got to get back up here a little bit. Give us that 180, give us that 190, something that, we know that it's worth, especially based on the ATVI deal. So I really like it. I think it's a great move for Microsoft, especially if the market doesn't hate on it. I thought they had overpaid for it. I mean, but again, that's not, it's not my thing. If Microsoft's just hovering around here flat on the day and this deal has been basically approved, then I feel like it's going to be a good one for Mr. Softy.
Yeah, that ATVI was pretty insane this afternoon. It was consolidating below that 88 price for a long time, and it was coming up here. I wanted to take the breakout, but it pulls back into the teal, and I'm like, all right, I can buy the dip here, give it 20 cents risk, end up adding on the breakout, and I'm all out in front of 90 on this one, and it accelerates all the way up to 93. I tried a couple more times to buy the dip in here, get it back up to that 93, but I mean, we're up 11% on a big name like ATVI, so maybe done for the day. Maybe it wants to hold this 91.50 or 91. If we get back to VWAP, I will definitely be trying this around 90.5 later this afternoon, but definitely a great move and some crazy price action on this one. Lots of people, I guess, wanting to get into the arbitrage game between that 91.5 and 95 price. And if we're closing on Monday, like, that's a great return for under a week of trading there. So,
isn't there still some uncertainty, Brendo, about that deal, or is that? Oh, it's David Faber. Okay, so it's reported from CNBC there, I guess, that it's been somewhat approved. But I agree with you.
Yeah, I mean,
it does seem like it's kind of free money there. But I guess it's the date that's in question, right? Because if you have to delay it for a month and a half instead of a week, then you have the time value of money.
Exactly. And if it's going to be
another
another
6 months, you don't give me money to me, you're probably going to make money, so that would probably be okay. Yeah, right now that's ATVI. I think Brendan's right, or what we've been talking about there. It does open up the door. You know another name there? I just thought about this. What's up with Sony? Okay, so Sony actually switched over to their symbol to Sony. I could see this one getting a bump today as well, but it's not. And again, this is bad for Sony because they were talking about trying to make sure that ATVI, and I don't know if they did get that 10-year sort of grace period that they were trying to talk about, whereby they would still make sure that they would have Call of Duty and some of those Activision names still on their platform for a while and get some sort of a royalty for having that instead of just having to pay Microsoft and or having Microsoft pull it away from Sony and then only sit on Xbox or PC or whatever Sony wants to, or sorry, whatever Microsoft wants to do. So I'm surprised it's not a little bit more of a downside move there. As I was saying, Sony's had been up, was sort of cruising for that, and then I guess maybe the last little while, I don't know what the problem was right there, but Sony now trying to barcode. This may come back down to the downside, but again, or is it just providing better opportunities to swoop in there and pick up a decent name? Like, as if Sony really cares that much about Call of Duty. I'm sure they do, but again, until we know more about what exactly those details are, I'm going to hold off on my opinion of Sony, but that's another stock that could be under pressure on something like this. So they missed the boat on ATVI. Let's see if Sony steps it up and maybe tries to put something else in their pocket. There's still Take-Two as well. Take-Two, EA, and there has to be a lot more. I think Roblox, we talked about that. Fabian said, I don't think Roblox would be a case like that with the VR headset. I think Roblox is an absolute monster just waiting to explode. Like, you could say that when kids, and Brad said this and he actually caught himself afterwards because it was a good point. Kids are getting older, right? And what happens to games are we lose faith in playing them because as we get older, we're like, I don't play video games anymore. But the key about how humanity and everything works, it seems like there's more people born every single day than are passing away. So as long as that seems to be the case, then Roblox, I think, with every new birth seems to be, I mean, I just know this in my family anyways, I get the new nephews and things like that, and they're on their iPads and everything. I mean, they're just babies now, but they're going to be on their iPads, and as long as Roblox still exists, I think I like Roblox for the long term here. I'm a shareholder of Roblox, but and also pay a monthly dividend. I pay a monthly dividend to Roblox as well. So very, very interesting relationship I have with these guys. So Brendan, I'm going to guess you've never even looked at Roblox.
You guessed right. Never seen it. Never, not even once in my life. Anyway, NIO. We were talking these Chinese EV names this morning. I guess it was $11. I was trying to find that level we were talking about from this morning. It must have been $11 that it was holding, but yeah, that didn't turn out too well. We go right through to some significant areas from yesterday on a big move up. If you missed it, over the weekend, actually, the regulators in China came out and said, remember that EV incentive package that they were talking about? Yeah, that's not happening anymore due to a couple of issues. One, they think it's going to negatively affect pricing competition in the country, and then antitrust laws as well being mentioned as far as why they're pulling the plug on that. China's Passenger Car Association then comes out and says sales in general down 2.9% in June year over year. 1.91 million units, up 2.5% the first half of the year, though. 9.6, still not too bad.
All right. Yeah, the only thing that happened to that for me today was negative P&L sales on NIO because we went to the downside on that. And I had it written down. I really thought that NIO today was going to be something. We broke through that $11 mark. We resisted 1080 yesterday. We broke through it today. And I thought there was going to be a decent trade there for us on NIO. And I mean, you can come over to my screen. I can show you exactly what I was talking about. And this is what I talked about earlier on as well during the pre-show. And that was that, here we go, Fabian, if we can have this. This is that level there, 1080, that we couldn't break it yesterday afternoon, but pretty much all afternoon we just stood there. And then when we opened up higher on what I thought was decent news, now it's just up with the market. We were up about 1% and a little bit. We just got long, and the main problem was we got long 95, 85. Then we got long down here 75. And I was like, you know what, if it breaks 70, we want to make sure we got out. And that little bottom right there is actually 65. So once it broke 65, I was like, that's it, we got to get out because who knows where this is going to go. Well, that turned out to be the bottom right there. So there's me getting out as I zoom in. I like to zoom in just so I could be more upset at myself. So there it is right there. But then once we realized that, we're like, wait a second, we just punched out at probably the very bottom. We're able to get right back in, and look what happened. Boom, right back up to the upside. But then this happened again. And then it just came all the way down, and we started to get some out at 40s and 50s, only before buying some back, and now just, you know, basically the clown show continues there today for me on NIO. So, you know, in trouble early, made a little bit back, got in trouble again, and now just making a little bit back. And it's my worst stock today. Meta's going to own that crown very soon. But NIO, badly done today, and I thought it had more juice in it than it did. But again, you know, we took a small cut on it, but our worst trade early was NIO.
Yeah, those Chinese EVs, a bit of a letdown this morning. We kind of thought that they might blast off. There were some levels that we liked on them. XPEV, I liked that 15.25. It could never even touch that. It only got to 15.18 this morning. Tried to recover and, you know, get above 15. Can't trade above there. So I guess just weakness, a little bit of consolidation maybe today before the eventual breakout does happen on these names. But yeah, I mean, that's all I really liked was that XPEV 15.25, and nothing came of it. So no trades there for me on these ones.
For Firm, nice second day in a row, in fact, for a Firm after a big move to kick things off yesterday. On Monday, we get to 15, gets all the way to 16.5, touches it 2, 3, 4 times Looks like we're starting to roll over, still 8.5%. Really no significant news as far as the firm is concerned today. There was a couple of positive notes from analysts, but if you go to the daily charts, 14.5 was a big level up to about 15. Give you a nice dip this morning, but it looked really, really dangerous. I was watching this at the open. There was not much liquidity in front of that 1480 from late in the day yesterday, but still, nice move when all is said and done for AFRM once again today.
All right, I'm going to say, I'm going to talk about that, but I just want to say what's up to NLTHC. I don't know if that's Newfoundland THC or what. NLTHC right there wants to talk about Tesla. But this is the thing I want to talk about right here because I don't know if we are, people think that we're the same as other shows or whatever, but like Tesla 280 put, easiest straight in the world, but you will not hear them talk about it. Us talk about it? Like, I mean, we don't avoid talking about any stock for any particular reason other than we either miss it or we're actually live trading. So sometimes we will miss some stocks to talk about it, but there's no way in whatever that we would purposely not talk about a name. We're not, we're not paid by anybody to avoid talking about names or to talk about any names or anything like that. So I just want to get that straight. I don't know if I just misread something that you mentioned there or not, but I do take it a little personally because that's not, we're purposely building this show to do everything for everybody and try to talk about all the best trading, ideas that are out there. And I'm glad that you brought this up because I did mention today, and I did like Tesla long at 272. It just never built out for us. And I thought we could run up to 280, maybe having, I don't know where my chart is here, but could have had a problem around 276 there today. But yeah, in no chance or would we be avoiding anything like that. This is the 1 minute chart, so I did try Tesla today. And I look at it that I'm not even down that much, so that's why I don't even understand what happened here. But we went long early, then got it back. So this was basically a flat trade. If anything, we were up after all of this because lose about $2, make 3, I think. And then it was this part that we really lost on there, the 267 buy, dumped it out at the end of the day. And that's where we talked about it. We had the high of the day, then the low of the day. Now that's been breached, but at one point that was pretty fun. So that was a talk there on Tesla. And again, it's part of it, man. I mean, if I was trying to hide trades, I wouldn't show you how disastrous Meta would be or any of these other plays. Neo, for example, we just talked about that. But let's talk about Affirm. I really put on rose-colored glasses here with Affirm today and thought that if we did break as if it went to 1650, I'm like, but we got, now I'm going to, all right, so we wrote down here Affirm 1650 that we really liked that level. We said we'd like to take it long if it did break through. I don't think we would have taken it if this would have happened, but if this would have been above 1650 right now, that's actually the high of the day, which is quite unbelievable. Like, I guess maybe you go long on that sort of a punch out there, but after seeing this triple top, this is no longer a long, this is a short. So I'm really glad that we were able to nail the level and glad that I guess we ignored that 1650 because I think it would have been a small hit there if that would have came through. But here's Affirm, there's 1650. I was just looking at it and say, hey, if we could break that top on this news today, then we want that long. But it came from 1350 all the way up to try to break that there today and didn't and stopped on a dime. So although Affirm gets the upgrade from, I think it was Evercore, what did I write down? Oh no, that's the next one, Meta. Affirm, I didn't write down who it was, but they got a little positive note today. Surprising that could send the name up 8%. It's already up 10 or so percent in the last couple days. So it's nice to see Affirm getting back on its footing there. I still think this is a DOA, this stock. I mean, if you like it, that's great. But with all the buy now, pay later stuff, I mean, Apple's into that. They're going to start to do that now with the VR headset and their phones, and they're doing it themselves through their own banking card. I know that they're back on Amazon right now, but I just feel that it's just one of those things where it's a tough business to get involved with. They could be a possible buyout candidate, I guess, if they got enough in their book, but I'm not sure about Affirm here. The only saving grace, I guess, for the long is that they do have quite a large short interest as, oh man, Meta just broke 296 there. So we did get stopped out of a piece of Meta. That's tough, but it's right there at the bottom. Let's see if it can go one more time. I still have a piece there. I wanted to see when we got stopped out if there was any like dramatic buybacks up, and there isn't. So we still do have a small piece left, but Meta right now bleeding to the downside. This will be my worst stock of the day.
Yeah, that Affirm, I think you covered it pretty well. At 1650, the key level that stood out there on the daily, couldn't break through it. I liked the idea of going long through 16. I didn't have it today. Decided not to take it when I saw it coming up, and then kind of just missed that break entirely. Saw it trading in the teens or whatever, but yeah, rolls over off that 1650. I was thinking you go long 16, add 1650, and then you're trading 1750, something like that. But yeah, that did not come in today at all. The short float, I guess, not really making a huge difference on this Affirm today. And I think this is one of Neil's favorite stocks to short, so maybe should have been seeing key levels and just going short to try to fill those shoes properly sitting in this chair.
Yeah. Affirm, a good short always, it seems like.
Seems
All right, Brendo, let's go talk about Meta or not.
Yeah, still better part of 22, depending on where you look. 22% short on Affirm as well, the other side of that story. Here is that mentioned Evercore note on Meta, guys. They're saying $8 billion in revenue going to come from Threads in the next 2 years. And 200 million daily active users. I mean, they're already at 100, so 200 million daily active users over the next couple of years to come as well. So Meta was back on watch for that and a few other reasons. If you haven't done so, scan that QR code, bottom right corner of the screen right now. Check out trade ideas, guys, used by everyone on the desk. See what's moving in the moment with trade ideas. Trader TV 20 right now and for the rest of the week. Get you 20% off trade ideas, guys.
All right, Max, do you want to talk a little bit about Meta, just because I feel like I sort of broke down my, my trade there, and I think that was just really the fool at 300. I think other than that, man, we pulled back to VWAP. Things haven't been that crazy in the last 2 hours or so. It was just really around noon. So.
Yeah, my only trades on Meta today were trying to get that lead into 300. I liked the idea of 298 breaking. It stops exactly at the same price, this 298.12 that it stopped at yesterday a bunch of times. Once that finally breaks, I'm long off of this, getting half of it out here, and then adding on this break and end up, I think, basically break even on that trade. Tried to get long at 299 when it looked like it wanted to hold there, and get stopped out again. And I didn't touch it anymore after that. I guess like the 300 fade was the play when you got no real news catalyst on Meta today, or nothing too substantial there. And also, time of day is pretty important on these breakouts. I know that a noon breakout is not going to work the same way that a 9:45 one is, but I don't know. You come to these $100 levels, you kind of got to take those new levels, I think. And sucks to not win on this decent trade, but is what it is. You got to take those shots, I think, when they're available to you, and parlay those wins into bigger ones sometimes. So, maybe 20% of the time this one works, but I make 10 times, the amount of money on it. So that's how I want to be playing those.
That's what
it is. What it is. It is what it is.
That is what it is. I don't feel bad about the Meta trade. I really do feel like we've talked about this all the time, and you just made a good point. If you're gonna have a trade that you're gonna lose on, make sure it's one that you put the risk in, and if you did have an upside chance. I mean, I was sitting right here. I told you I put my offer at 302 or something once that broke. Like, I really thought we were going, man. I was like, okay, here goes Meta. We broke that 298. The day was still relatively young. It was in the middle of the day, so we saw a lot of upside there. And I don't feel any ways about taking it. So, it is going to be a tough break there for Meta because it didn't continue, and that's just what it is. We've already seen this happen before. Excuse me. Like, I'm back. The funny thing is, like, I'm back in it, and I'm up another little bit on this trade. Like, I made back at least, like, I made 15% back if I just get out right now of what I've lost. But yeah, it's just right here at VWAP. Let's just see what it does into the end of the day. I still think there's another run at 3 bills coming for Meta. Might not be today. The NASDAQ obviously turned red. And then plus you still have, let's not sleep on that rebalance stuff that we talked about, right? Meta is going to get rebalanced, as are all these names. So I don't know exactly what that means, other than the fact that they're the weights are going to be decreased. So if you do own a lot of Meta shares and you're tracking the Qs or the NASDAQ, then you're going to have to reweight your current holdings. And Meta's a big part of that, as is Microsoft, right? Like, let's just check out what Microsoft is doing right now today. Microsoft down today, right? More than the market. Let's check out what AAAPL is doing today. I should know this. I've traded it down more than the market. The other one with news today, of course, because it's Amazon Prime Day, that's up. So we talked about that name a little bit. Meta down. Well, we just looked at Meta. And then the other one that's being rebalanced, I guess, a little bit here is going to be Google. And then Tesla, I guess, and we've already looked at that today too. So Google's the one that's a surprise, because I know that we both like to short on that, and we were short on Google, and everything's fine. This will be a positive stock, but at the same time, this one's still up today. So kind of baffling. Some of the bigger names down, and then names that have been weak recently, like a Google, is still up on the day. So yeah, man, you know, just a little tricky right now today, I feel like, with all these stories, and I just think we got to hold close. Someone said in the chat that they think Threads will sort of, I guess the word is like peter off, like, or whatever it is, whatever that, you know, word I'm looking for is there. And I think they might be right about that.
Yeah.
I don't know if Threads is going to take off. I feel like that number in the millions or billions there that Brendan dropped, I don't know if they're going to be able to monetize it like that, to be honest with you. It might just be a cool little way to just interact with each other. I think the minute that you put ads on it and start to target it like that, then I do worry about, will people just give up entirely on that, you know, and maybe head back to a Twitter or something where the base is already there, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've been on Threads and I like it. It's just, I was really on it, building it up and everything like that the first couple of days. And to be honest with you, I posted the sticky note today, and then I just kind of check it maybe on the couch or something when you're just chilling out doing nothing. I don't know if it's going to be that big windfall for Meta, but you know, it's something new, it's something interesting, and something for us to talk about at least.
And Twitter struggled for years to monetize their platform.
Still do. They
still struggle to do that. And now, you know, the Twitter copy for Meta is supposed to be so great. I don't know about that, but you know, I mean, it's obviously strong, and I think
Twitter copy.
Yeah,
Twitter's copying Meta as well. No.
Like the Twitter copy on Meta is
right,
going to be this big
okay.
windfall for Meta. That doesn't really make that much sense to me when, you know, Twitter's this kind of beat down name that hasn't been performing to its potential that everybody thought it was. But you know, we'll see. I'll take the 300 break one more time if it shows up this week or next week, whenever it does. I think that level can be pretty key. You look at the 290 as well on that one. 290 took a couple tries to break out, and then once it finally did, it ran like, I don't know, $10, $15, and you know, now we're at 300. So yeah, we'll see what happens with that one. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah, I was looking at the chat there. There's something I want to talk about. Oh, it was this one, JB. What's up, JB? Right now, yeah. So that's the. I was reading that afterwards because I was looking to try to figure out what exactly was going on with Coinbase. But 5 BTC ETFs. So that started to make it go rallying there today, as there's been some approval there as well. And then right now, Carvana. I mean, you're already on that, and you're not going to really make me say this, quite frankly, are you, JB? There it is right there. We'll get the count just in honor of Neil, because quite frankly, he says it about 30 to 40 times a day, I would say. You know, I mean, JB has the official count. And quite frankly, I don't know what it is. So, but anyway, shout out to Neil. I hope you're enjoying your vacay. Neil will be back next week. And then you'll be just alternating back and forth on the midday show. You're filling in for me as well a little bit next week. And then we'll find out after that. The midday show has been rocking with Obi and Prad. So, and then Sharif, of course, I don't know where he is now, but he was going to SoCal and then Hawaii. So I don't know what island, but if you look for like a big like Egyptian guy running around on the beach, it may exactly be Sharif. So go say what's up to him and give him a big shout out and a big bear hug from all of us here at Trader TV Live. So yeah, no better time to take vacation in the summer. And you know, unless you're trading ATVI, which today, of course, has just been starting to go nuts right there. Big move upside. But look, now it's starting to fade out a little bit. This is very strange to me, man, because you're looking at a closing price of $95. Brendan said that there's rumors that this thing gets off the market next week. And if that is true, then you have about $4 on 91. So 4.5%, little bit somewhere around that level of return in a week. That
good.
seems pretty good to me. So that's something to look at there for ATVI. If that is the case, guys, do your due diligence and look into this. By no means am I saying that is what's going to happen, because the last thing you want to do is buy it, then all of a sudden rug pull, and that approval is not scheduled to come out yet, and then the next thing you know, you're back down here at 83, and you were holding a 91 long with $10,000 worth or something like that, trying to grab your 400 or 500 bucks as an interest there, kind of thing. And then next thing you know, you're down 10 bucks on that trade, and all you're trying to make is 4. So just be careful about that. I don't think there's anything to worry about. But again, this is just the news that we're reporting. So ATVI, very, very interesting. I'd say this is a name that if you like the story, I think it's a buy the dip name because it has to settle, right? And it has to settle upside from here. And as long as the case is true, then I feel like any dip down of severe dip down should be bought. I don't think 10 cents, but anything that kind of has been bought up before, maybe get bought up again. So watch out for ATVI to come down to about this 90.50 area or so.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching on that ATVI, 90.50. Maybe if 91 holds here, you can try to take a long there, get it back up to 92. 92 was a problem price for quite some time this afternoon. So I got that one on watch for sure. Still got this Carvana on, waiting for it to break out. This feels exactly like yesterday when it was just consolidating in a range and then finally broke out at like 2:30 or 3 o'clock, whenever that did happen. So that's what I'm looking for today. Hopefully we can get up to 37. If I structure the trade the exact same way, I would be adding on 36.50 and then hoping that it breaks 37.50. I don't know that that's necessarily going to happen today. But if it does, I'll take the $2 win for sure. Just going to wait and see where this one goes. Other than that, I don't know. I was thinking maybe if Tesla got down to 265 today, but it has not been able to get anywhere near that, holding at 267 pretty much all day, 266.5. I thought 265 could be supportive from yesterday if we got back down there, did a little like fail break action, take it back up to the levels that we're at right now, but not getting low enough for me to go long on Tesla. Nice little double bottom here though. So if you are long, looking kind of good for the potential push back up into that 268, maybe 269 price today. Other than that, I don't know. I feel like the market's kind of calmed down a bit. In the midday, it was going pretty crazy. Things were happening all over the place. You had Activision, you had Meta. Now I feel like people have had their fill, and we're just chilling out. Yeah, I mean, we still got Carvana. Carvana could go absolutely wild. Where is Coinbase at right now?
Coinbase is 350 in the money, but it's just, it's funny that we mentioned Coinbase because it is actually kind of barcoding over the last hour. So once again, Max, you are going to be right about what Coinbase is doing. And we had that huge move earlier. Now it's kind of doing nothing. And there's the move that we're talking about. Like, it just got lit up there, man. Like, boom, right up there to the upside. You were mentioning, let's just check I think he said it was 20% short on Coinbase. He kind of caught me off guard there. It's not something that we do check it all the time because we always want to short it, but 23% right there short on Coinbase. You can see today's range, obviously, much more extended than normal, 228% outside, and then 450% increase in options volume. So what a big day here today for Coinbase, as we've looked at the ETF, not the ETFs. Well, the ETFs aren't moving because Bitcoin also not moving right now. So no, I will not create an account. And this is what Bitcoin's doing over the last couple minutes. So let's go to a 5-minute chart just to check out the last couple of days. This is what it looks like. So we'll zoom this back out. We don't have a very good offering yet here at Day Trade the World for crypto. We are trying to work on that. So if that ever comes through, you want to talk about Pepe coin and stuff like that. You're going to see some buys and sells going through on this guy's blotter over here. Anyways, yeah, this is what crypto looks like right now. We had a nice move up there on July 10th yesterday, I guess. Did we notice this up to 31,000? And then a complete drop. At what time was this? No, I didn't notice this. This was after market. This is 4 o'clock. We had a monster run up there in crypto, up to crypto, this is just Bitcoin, up to 31,000. And then almost immediately, that must have been on the announcement of some of these ETFs is what I'm guessing. And then almost immediately down within 2 hours, right back down to that bottom of 30,200. See, I'm kind of sleeping on crypto. Like, I do own some. I think pretty much we all probably do. I shouldn't say all, but most of the people around here I would say do. And I'm not really looking at it yet. I think at 30,000, I did pick some up lower. I talked about that. I haven't picked up some ADA, some Cardano, but other than that, I'm kind of sleeping right now, and I think there's a lot of us traders are doing exactly that. Let me just refresh to make sure that we have the right read on this. Are sleeping on some of these prices, like Ethereum. For how long has it been at 18 to 1900? It seems like a while. Bitcoin as well. It does make its moves for sure, and that's what I mean. I think it's a great trading avenue. Cardano, I picked some up at 26 or 27, so that's at 29, which is doing pretty good. I like Ripple. I mean, it's used at Western Union, used to transfer over large sums of money as well. I like Ripple. Solana's been one of those darlings that were great for a while. I remember Jake Paul and all those guys were really pumping up Solana. This was at $250 at one point, I believe, down to $22 right now. What a shame. Polygon, another one of those names that was really big in the NFT space. I really feel like we actually had Sam Bankman-Fried on the show. This is when we were like, oh, the 38th richest man in the world or whatever. Well, welcome, Sam Bankman-Fried. And then he came on. You can go find him, man. Just go Google it. We had him on. I talked to him. I talked to him specifically about the safety of crypto. And he had mentioned that, hey, as long as your coins are on an exchange that are somewhat reputable, you'd be okay. Yeah, minus 7 billion gone for his exchange there. So shout out to you, SBF, as we had that on. I didn't have a Trezor, but I had cold storage, and I was like, why not just put it on cold storage? And then that, the talk was, well, then you can't trade out of it. You got to keep uploading and all that kind of stuff, which is true. But anyways, that was true.
But at the end of the day,
I mean, FTX, I don't think if you're a Canadian citizen, you could have had FTX maybe, because I never even went into that. But again, I feel bad for people that lost money there. They did recover some, though.
Yes, I saw they recovered like
billions,
5 billion, 4 billion, something like that.
I don't know. I mean, he bought his mom a house. He bought his dad a Lambo. he bought his jail cellmates. No, I don't know. But anyways, yeah, that sucks, man. Because I do know personally some people that did get hit there that were outside of the country. So that kind of sucks. And I don't mean to put light at that, but that's crypto for you.
Yep, this Carvana just broke out. So Carvana looking really good, above 36.50. It's above the breakout price. We're looking for that 37 break. We got above there once today. We had problems at 37.5. So we'll see what happens when we get there. I think if we're breaking that, I might try to find a way to add to this. Not trying to take too much size out. I got 1/3 of the position out on the way up here. Not looking to sell anything else until we're above 37. I'm thinking, that's pretty. I don't know. I'm thinking that's pretty high probability right now that we go and test 37. So that's where I will consider taking profit.
I would join you on that break, but that guarantees a loss. So I think I'll just let Carvana sleep with you and see what happens there on CVNA. Okay, man, it's about that time. Guess who's back? Not Shady's back this time, but it's Frank Caberna. So let's go over to the big desk with Brendan and see what Frank has to say.
Yeah, big day to come tomorrow, guys. Big week ahead of the next Fed meeting coming up in a couple of weeks. 25th, 26th, we'll get, it looks like, as of right now anyways, 95%-ish in favor of that quarter-point hike to come from Fed Chair Powell coming up in 2 weeks. Frank is here to give us a preview of what to expect tomorrow. We've been kind of teeing these up over the past couple of months, Frank, in the sense that, as we get towards what could be a pivot here in this move. I hate using that term, but it seems like everyone does. As far as the Fed is concerned, maybe coming back down a little bit or pausing, as we saw going into the last meeting. Not going to be the case here, but we are still expecting a slight, I use that cautiously, a slight downtick when it comes to inflation.
Yeah, it'll be really interesting to see whether or not markets move one way or the other off of tomorrow's number. Of course, we're speaking to core inflation, which is expected at 5%, which is a downtick from last month at 5.3%, and where Fed Chair Powell has been talking about how he's worried about it hanging around 5 to 6%. And so with all of that being said, they've priced in the quarter point hike here in July. teetering on whether or not they want to price in another quarter point hike in the next 6 months here, or hang in here, keeping the expectations around the Fed unchanged, or like we were talking about just 3 or 4 months ago, the potential to cut in the near future. It's all hinging on this inflation, Brendan, and this number that, like I say, expected at 5%. Last month came in at 5.3%. If it comes in lower than 5%, that'll be the first time that we're seeing a sub 5% core inflation number here in the US in, I believe, well over a year. And we have some historical data around these inflation numbers for the last year. And I put them against interest rates because that's obviously the most direct mover here from tomorrow's number. If we get sub 5%, obviously some of the wind out of the rate hike sails might be taken out there. If we get another reading of 5.3%, 5.4%, where it's been the last couple of months, then maybe they solidify that July hike, essentially go from 95% to 100%, and look at higher probabilities of another 25 basis point hike in the near future. But I mean, am I wrong in thinking, Brendan, that this is a pretty straightforward one, essentially how Powell has laid it out, that we're looking directly at core inflation? It's been around 5 to 6%, and we're thinking that it's going to stick around that level for the next 6 to 12 months, and that's why we're aiming at interest rates being higher for longer, or do you think that there's more nuance to this number that's coming out in the morning?
It seems, we've definitely been trending in that direction over the past few weeks, at least. Whether or not that will be the case, obviously, remains to be seen. It's worth mentioning, I think, in your next chart here, explains it very well. We are still in a downtrend when it comes to these prints, so that is the key. But as you mentioned, it's that underlying core number that everyone seems to be stuck on, and we're not seeing the movement. I wanted to get your take, and I'm not sure if you'll have this off the top of your head or not, but is time of year important here? Do we see maybe a fluctuation in favor of the overall market simply because it's summertime?
I don't think so. I mean, I've done a lot of research around seasonality and certain commodity products like natural gas. You tend to see the increase in volatility, natural gas, in the fall and winter months there, as weather dictates a lot of demand. Agriculture products right now seeing seasonal volatility, summer months being times of growing seasons and harvesting seasons, and some price volatility around supply. Not so in interest rates and in stocks. And I don't think, the only seasonality that we've seen is a little bit lesser volume. And with that, sometimes there can be even more opportunities. Sometimes there can be more volatility with lesser volume, lesser players in the market. And you can see here that inflation has had no real care for time of year, as it's been above 5% for the last 12 months. To your point, it's been ticking lower for, this is core inflation there in red, it's been ticking lower for the last 3 months in a row, and has had a general trend from October of last year until now of lower. We peaked at 6.6% core inflation and haven't been back in the 6 handle for about half a year now. And so, of course, in the longer term, the fear is from Powell and people who are more fearful of inflation in general, is that we could get back to 6% and beyond. And that's been the reason for why they might hike again here in July, and why they might hike in the future, and why they might keep interest rates higher for longer. But the 10-year still under that inflationary number, as they think that this is really going to be a 1 to 2 year process. And Powell came out and said it directly, that he's worried about this for about 6 to 24 months. And 2% is the target. You can see we've been trending lower. How long will this inflation last? Obviously, if you're looking at 10-year interest rates, they're not thinking it's going to last 10 years because the interest rate there is 4%. Inflation is over 5% still. But very much thinking this is 1 to 2 years here to get this down to 2%. But that being said, I mean, this number tomorrow will really make waves one way or the other if it prints closer to 2% by even 0.1% or 0.2 percentage point, or further away by 0.2 percentage point. It really comes down to, if we come in right at 5%, maybe we'll see some wiggle in stocks and interest rates and everything else. But if it comes in even at 4.8%, you'll see some big movement across every asset class. And if it comes in at 5.2, 5.3, or even high, if it comes in higher than last month, Brendan, I think you're going to see some huge waves be made across not only interest rates, but stocks, Forex, and everything else.
Yeah, it's an interesting look and an interesting time, because we get in then 2 weeks the next decision on interest rates. I want to go back a little bit here and talk about what happened on Friday, because I was obviously on vacation, but we get this jobs print that comes in finally in the right direction, or the direction they want to see. But if you kind of peel back the covers on that report, there was still some problems in that report as well.
Yeah, it's every time I've tried to lean against one of these recent numbers going into another number, because I mean, let's face it, every number that's coming out these days is being translated as inflationary, from non-farm to GDP to inflation itself. And going into the non-farm, we were talking about how the recent inflation number was a little bit higher. I think it was PCE, and Powell had just the week, actually, I think it was the same week as non-farm, was saying how he was worried about inflation. He's worried about inflation. Interest rates were moving higher going into that non-farm, and then it comes out less than expected. So I really, as much as I want to correlate one number to another, I don't think we can lean against essentially a lower than expected non-farm, meaning that inflation will come in lower than expected as well, because there's been a bit of a zigzagging effect recently where it's higher than expected inflation, lower than expected non-farm, lower than expected inflation, higher than expected non-farm from month to month. And so I don't think that that's a tell for us necessarily. And the market, very honestly, didn't move that much off of that number, didn't shift that much. What it did really shift, actually, since that non-farm number, is U.S. dollar lower, and I think that could be a trend that continues if the inflationary number does come in lower, as we've seen here with euro dollar trading recently.
Yeah, we've seen even today yields, as well as you mentioned, both downside, the 2-year, the 10-year, both slightly downside versus where we've been. But we've been talking over the past month or so about dollar strength versus basically everything. The yen specifically. This chart, your next chart here, kind of gives a very good perspective as inflation is coming back down, where the trade has taken the USD.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the non-farm number, like I say, really kind of shook U.S. dollar lower a little bit. And the trend since then has been U.S. dollar lower, and euro is the pair that we have up on the screen here. Euro, U.S. dollar back to the highs, euro over dollar, pound over dollar back to the highs as well, back to 129. And the long-term trend has been higher inflation numbers, higher interest rates in the U.S., and outperformance in the U.S. currency as people demand, they want that higher interest rate. As we've been trending lower faster than the Eurozone, than the UK, and now potentially, I mean, Japan, we've got a long way to go to close the gap on them, as their inflation is still in the 2 or 3 handle. But with our trending inflation lower, U.S. dollar has also been depreciating against these major currencies. Swiss franc, we're seeing right now lows in the U.S. dollar against Swiss franc for the last 3 years. It seems like we're out of the phase of U.S. dollar highs, the extremes that we saw for some of these pairs, Brendan. It was 20, 30-year extremes. We're pretty far away from that. Now we're toying with U.S. dollar being the weakest of this bag of major currencies. And yeah, this would be a pretty direct one, similar to interest rates. If we get an inflation number that's lower than expected, I would expect interest rate projections in the U.S. to be lower, and thus U.S. dollar depreciation, given that lesser demand for a lower U.S. interest rate. Vice versa, inflation comes in hotter than expected. The Fed's going to maybe have to hike another time or two. US dollar bullishness. That's at least been the trend recently.
Yeah, market kind of shrugging its shoulders saying, what do we do here? Because every time there's something thrown at the market that is a bit of a curveball, it seems to just shrug it off and continue to either chop around or march higher, which, I mean, let's take a step back here, is very constructive overall that we're not just falling apart. But if we do get finally a print in favor of stocks, which would be lower tomorrow, possibly another reason to get started at least on a leg higher here. The market has held up amazingly well in the face of all of these CPI prints that continue to come. And you mentioned, going back a couple of weeks ago, we had Powell talking over in Europe saying, 2025, they're now expecting this to get under control.
Yeah, we're in this mode with the stock market that reminds me of the pre-pandemic days where it was like bad news is good news is good for the stock market since the lows of inflation. You see the general trend, which is no coincidence that we peaked in inflation in the fall of 2022. And that's when fear was really like, man, is this going to get out of hand? There were news stories about hyperinflation in the U.S., which hasn't been a thing for 30 years, inflation more than 10%. That is, and that coincided pretty directly with stock downside. And in the long term, Brendan, we've seen this inflation diminishing and stocks bouncing back. But what's been interesting is you and I have pointed this out in the last couple of weeks on a shorter term basis. We've seen days where inflation or an inflation adjacent number like non-farm, I believe it was the non-farm, not the most recent one, but the one before, came in hotter than expected. Interest rates rose off of that number, and stocks actually rallied as well. So I'll be real interested to see here tomorrow, given how direct the relationships are between inflation translating to this in interest rates, inflation translating to this in US dollar. In the stock market, recently we have data points that point to inflation being higher, stocks being higher, inflation being lower, stocks being higher. So I'm really, really interested to see. Maybe it'll just be a good scalping day for the stock market, one way or the other. If we get a cooler inflation, I wouldn't be surprised to see the stock market unchanged. Same with a hotter inflation. That's at least been the general trend for me recently, is a relatively unchanged stock market. Some big swings either way, but I don't have a correlation one way or the other between inflation and stocks at this phase.
Yeah, it seems like anytime you try to have one of those, it just does the exact opposite. So we'll see what happens tomorrow. One thing for sure, though, as we've seen I was just noting, 3 or 4 charts here that we just showed, all showing a trend to the downside, but it's a very slow and kind of a painful, grinding trend to the downside. So yes, we're moving in the right direction, but I think everyone's been sitting around, waiting for that light bulb moment or waiting for that opportunity when there's just a big flush out or a big, revert back to where we should be or where the Fed keeps saying they want us to be, but it's just not coming.
Yeah, it'll be really, another interesting point will be if we get a print that's 5.1 or 5.2, will that spook the market? And I would think that it might, and send interest rates higher and US dollar higher more than you might think, just because, to your point, Brendan, we get in these moods of thinking that, right now it feels like, at least, like inflation's relatively under control and we're heading in the right direction and X, Y, and Z. But yes, still expected at 5%. And when you have the Fed chair talking about how he's worried about it and he doesn't like to spook anybody necessarily, then you get the feeling that it will be around for a little bit longer. So if we do get even a 5.1, 5.2, or a 5.3, I think that will really move markets around. Whereas sub 5% would definitely be what everybody's wanting and be a trend of recent sentiment, I would say.
As we sit here, the market agreeing with us, because both the S&P and NASDAQ getting back to day highs. Hey, what a surprise.
There you go.
As we head into this tomorrow. Frank Caberna, Senior Content Strategist over at IG in Chicago. Appreciate it, as always.
Thanks, Brendan.
All right, so now just minutes away in the stock market terminology there of that CPI number. It's going to come tomorrow. Now we're in the power hour. Let's see if we do get an acceleration here heading into that number. People are, I mean, just as Frank said, I think that there is some uncertainty out there.
Oh, yeah.
And we're going to wait to see what happens tomorrow. Is the market going to get spooked? I think it could get spooked either way. I mean, we still have, what was it, 92 or 98% on the quarter point raise. Now, obviously, with tomorrow's data coming through, that may or may not change where that goes from, but then we'll be checking that as we go here. So yeah, thanks for Frank, man. I mean, it's that higher level look there, and thanks Brendan for asking all the great questions as well. The seasonality one about nat gas and all that, that's something that I've always been interested in, because I always think it's a supply demand thing, but Frank just sort of put that to bed and didn't really see too much of a relationship there. Agriculture's in the spring, and then of course, you know, the heating and cooling, of course, with summer and winter months there. But yeah, thanks Frank Caberna for everything there from IG. Make sure you check them out for sure. I don't know. I was looking at Google. We were short Google today, and it was a good. Yeah, and it was a good trade. We're now long Google, seeing if it can break back through. Whoops, so you want to do that? Okay, I was going to throw it over to Brendo. We got long right there and got out at 117, but now you can see we are starting to go back up to the upside. So I was like, okay, let's see if it wants to take 117. So now we're long, stuck long 117. Probably going to get out if we go back into VWAP down here near that 116.80. But yeah, what a nightmare, man. All these longs I'm trying to put on just seems to be the wrong price. Like I have shares there, but put on more on a 117 break. Thinking the same thing, man. Brendan just said the market's at day's high. Let's see if we can get to day's high. We're relatively close to that. We're trying to break out. If we can get anywhere back up here heading into CPI Wednesday, then hopefully the market will participate and not hate. So, okay, happening now. We're going to get to your Carvana trade in just a minute, but let's go to Brendan and see what's up with happening now.
Around here as we get towards the final 60 minutes of the day. I was just reading through this note, what's going on with NVIDIA and AMD today. A couple of positive analyst moves, including this one from KeyBank, going to 550 on NVIDIA, which I believe at this point is a street high, pointing towards, guess what, more AI positivity. However, AMD, yeah, relatively weak at the moment. As we said, the market trying to get back to day highs. If you're with us early on this morning, we touched on a few things, including Amazon, Wells Fargo, adding it to its signature list. Sounds very important. It's also Prime Day, if you missed it. JPM and Meta to the upside, or we were wondering if they were going to be to the upside today. Here's 1% for Amazon. I took a brief look during lunchtime. There's a few things that look kind of interesting as far as deals, but go ahead, Fabian. Brought to you by Hui's, a digital insurance platform in China, chosen by insurance giants for its broad market access and expertise in customization, enabling them to reach a wider audience and offer specialized solutions.
All right. Thanks, guys, for all that.
We got to do that at the beginning.
Oh, I just heard Brendan there. My kids, so they did buy all those new courses for Mario Kart.
Nice.
So they've been playing that, so I'm going to deal with them when we get home on that one. And I think you can drive through Paris, and there's a Tokyo one, and things like that. So I'm super excited. And then the wife, Marissa, I guess I can call her Marissa now, everyone knows her name, is looking for like one of those little Roombas or iRobots.
Oh, yeah.
There, we got a cat, we got a dog, although our cat is like, I think you're a cat guy, aren't you?
No,
not
no,
okay.
I'm a dog guy.
Dog guy, okay, good. It doesn't matter, good, bad, doesn't matter. Yeah, the cat sheds. Like, even though it's a short hair, our dog is a cockapoo, so she's hypoallergenic, so not too much there. But the Roomba, I don't know if anybody has one of those. You know what it is? Just goes around and picks up the.
I wouldn't mind one of those.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, grab one. We've been looking at those, so I think that's on sale there. Oh. You know what else is on sale? And I don't know, I'm not going to get in trouble for showing this, of course. Those Yetis. It's literally my favorite. I don't know, I heard Obi and Prad talk about Amazon. I just completely disagree with pretty much everything they were saying. Okay, here, hold on a second here. Yeti, and I'll tell you why. Okay, have you ever been, it's not that bad here, but what I'm hearing, and my friends there in the United States that are watching right now, you tell me, Like if you go into a Walgreens or a CVS right now, is that a fun shopping experience? Like you want to get razors, they're locked up. You're seeing people, the amount of theft and everything that apparently is happening at some of these grocery stores and convenience stores or everywhere in the United States apparently is, and look, we're not perfect here in Toronto. I mean, far from that. This is happening worldwide, but apparently it's out of control. And like, if I have to go there, knock on a little glass window or whatever, and have somebody come out to hand me a pack of $30 razor blades, let alone everything else that's there in these stores, that's not, I don't like that experience myself, let alone walking in there with my kids and all that kind of stuff. So I feel like Amazon does have a huge advantage in the fact that you could just put your razor blades, anything you want to buy, just on auto reorder, things like that, right, Max? So I like Amazon there. I think that's a huge added benefit. But only in major cities. Okay, I'm just talking about, like, I listen to CNBC and all that kind of stuff, and they always talk about that, and that's where I'm getting this from, is the fact that pilferage and all that kind of stuff is getting a little out of control, and I hate to see that, and I know it's out of necessity. Like a lot of these, unfortunately, I'm not going to, this is not talking politics, this is just life right now, and there is a lot of inequalities out there. We can go back to our double screen here. I mean, I'm talking to Max. Fabian. Yeah, so I didn't realize it was just on me the whole time as we were doing this. Can we go to the two shot when you get a second there? But anyways, I don't know. I don't experience that here, but I do know that there are some policies in stores that basically, if it's kind of like a minor theft situation, kind of let the person go type of thing. I don't know. But for me, that's the advantage of Amazon anyways. But okay, so this is what I was talking about here. It's these. So I got this bottle for Father's Day, actually, and shout out to my family, of course. And this is incredible. This Yeti water bottle. I didn't even realize it was 50. Get out of here, honey. It was recently. I didn't realize these things were $70 to begin with. It's just a 46 ounce. It has that chug cap. So I don't know if you can, as I'm pointing to it to you, Max, but right there, so you can get it. So it's just like, you know. So I bring that to baseball and everything like that. It's absolutely fantastic. So all the Yetis pretty much are on sale today. 30% off.
That's nice.
I don't know. It's really nice. It's really high quality, and I like it. So shout out to Yeti and Amazon. I think that's worth picking up if you haven't yet. And it's a little expensive. But
I have one of the thermos ones.
You have a Yeti one, a thermos one?
Yeah. It's like a coffee cup. It's maybe half a liter.
Yeah. So I have, this is Yeti.
Kind of like that one, but with like a screw top so that I can put it in my backpack. And
Right.
Yeah, I love it.
Put some drinks in there when you go golfing that you're not supposed to. Yeah.
Maybe. Usually just throw the cans in the bag, whatever. Let them get hot. I don't care.
I'm kind of the same way. Well, is your golfing bag one of the ones that has like those little coolers on it? They have like a protected sleeve?
I recently got a new one, so I'm trying to think.
Maybe it does.
If it does,
there might be a secret compartment in there.
I think there may be one.
Have a check.
Yeah, the old bag did not, so they just got very warm. But
I like the cold shots. You ever bring those?
The
Because
cold
those are
shots?
small.
Those
They're
are
6 or 7%. What a cold shot is a Molson cold shot. It's like 200 milliliters.
Yeah.
No idea how many ounces that is. And you pop it, drop it, throw it, hole two. Next hole, bang. And by the time you're in, 8th or 9th hole, you're playing your best golf of the day, and you wonder why. So shout out to that. So does it hold a Mickey? Yes, it does.
I guess it does.
All right, let's go back over and talk more about your trades because I suck. So, right now Meta's though actually going back up in the money right here. Again, yeah, of course I get dropped out there. Of course, of course it hits the bottom there, and I get stopped out, and then of course I notice I don't know, man. I got to do better of getting stopped out on some of these ridiculous trades. So, but anyways, there goes Meta, of course, right back up to the upside. We had about 2 times as many shares right there when this happened. So now, of course, nice move up. We can't celebrate too much, but it is once again another member of the Dollar Club. But I was telling this to Max earlier. When you go long at 300 and lose $2, $2.50. You're not part of the Dollar Club anymore. That's it.
Yeah.
You're part of the Dollar Shave Club, shaving profits away from you on that. So we're gonna have to watch it now as it's starting to go back upside. It's just resisting that 297. I think it's worth getting a piece out again here.
Yeah, and I'm just watching Carvana go up again. I was able to reload a bit. I was too scared to reload at 36, but that would have been a money fill there. I reloaded off the teal. There was some size that got filled on the offer at 36.30, so I punched a little bit more. I've just punched what I got out here, put it back on here, and now we're waiting for the 75 to break. Shouldn't be a problem. I don't know why a random 75 price would be a problem. I guess that's where we consolidate over here. Anyway, 36.75 new breakout price on Carvana, looking for that 37 to break. Maybe I add up there, maybe I don't. We'll see what happens, what the tape looks like. Totally expecting this one to go to high of day at this point. This is looking very, very solid. Every dip finally getting bought up, and the uptrend starting to kind of curl upwards into that potential parabolic shape here. All day we've just been holding this kind of consolidation low coming up, I guess higher lows you would just call that. Now kind of starting to get higher and higher as we're about to break that 75 price. Bit of a reserve there, expecting it to break and then get into that 37. This one looking solid. It's looking almost exactly like yesterday's trade on on Carvana as well. Oh, what's going on with Meta? 297.50.
Damn. Why are you not long, Max?
You know, you can only get burned so many times by the same stock and, you know, keep doing it. I don't know. That's
I need
tough.
something like this where it just lights up and my whole face gets burned off, and then it just like it says, pretty much it does there, actually. I just noticed on that one. But yeah, look at Meta, man. Right back up to 290. I just got some out at 297 thinking that was pretty good. Now you're just ripping right back up there to the 200. So, you know, oh man, what a disaster. We could have, the plan was to try to hold and put on a decent position and try to hold for this exact move. But then again, we did get taken out there. And at some point, it has to be too much, man. We kept getting it out, kept getting it in, out, you know, back and forth. And then eventually I was like, how much further can we go? And I just used 295.50 when it looked like I should have used 295. But then, you know, where is that trade? And then you come all the way down here to 294.50. You know, maybe that should have been the Alamo down there to say, okay, if I'm wrong, this is really where I want to get wrong. Look, we don't talk about share size or nets too much here, but, you know, when you're hitting, I think it was 500 shares or something up there, it's too much, you know, and then when it falls back down, it's just you're losing, and I don't want that. And so back and forth. Now we're coming back up to the upside. I did notice that you and I were 1 and 2 in the office before today. I don't think I'll be 2 after this. I hope you can keep your 1 spot today. But what a fun day it's been trading here today. And I just told Marissa, I said, it's been a really fun day. I need a massage. I'm getting smoked, but I feel fine. That's good. That's what I just told her there. We always talk. She always asks me how the day is, and she knows. We don't necessarily talk about, you know, the exact number. I don't know. Do you talk about any about this with your significant other?
She just wants to hear the results. She doesn't care about the trades themselves.
Oh, she doesn't care about in between?
No.
I don't think Marissa does either, but I can't. I'm just like today I'll be like, I can't believe Meta broke 300 and blah, blah, blah. And she pays attention. I mean, you know, so that's, shout out to her. I don't know what I would do without her, so that's the first thing there. Yeah, and that's the life of a trader, Max. And we talked about this earlier. This is what keeps me going and keeps me coming back every single day, is the fact that A, we get to do it in front of everybody, and the second part is that we don't know what tomorrow brings. And, you know, will Meta even right now break back above 300? It's possible, and, you know, the market will make you look foolish and make you look like a genius on the regular. So that's what's happening. There it goes now, Meta back up to 298. Wow. It's a good thing we have shares because I could just take some more out. Oh, oh man, I'm so frustrated right now because we did have that. This was the move that I was waiting for, but then we just got stopped out, and that was only like, this was 30 minutes ago, man. So, make them say, You know who that's from? No.
It sounds like Kanye.
Okay,
No?
close enough. That Master P. You don't. That's
Master
Why
P.
did I even do that? I know you don't know Master P. Okay, let's talk. Well, we haven't even talked about Carvana, man. I'm just talking about this.
We're just sitting here waiting for it to break this 36.75 random reserve here. It's touched it 4 times now. I don't know if it actually broke there. I'll look at my other platform. Oh yeah, it looks like it got 2 cents above, and then they put it back. So whatever. We'll see what happens here. Yeah, gonna stop out below 36, I guess. Don't want this one to go against me on the remaining shares, but I don't know. This feels like yesterday. It feels like it's just waiting to kind of take out the top. So I want to stay long as possible. I also tried a long on ATVI. It looked like it wanted to hold that 91 price. Yeah, 91. Didn't work out for me, but now we got a triple bottom here at 90.75, so maybe you should have been paying a little more attention there. Probably expecting that to break now, though. I'd like to see that 90.50 price. This one right here, 90.50, 90.40, where I held before, that's basically where VWAP is now, so you got a lot of things holding it up below that 90.50 price, so we'll see what happens there. I still got it on a side watch to potentially try to take a long there, see if it wants to run into the end of the day. Maybe there's some people trying to buy the dip for this arbitrage opportunity. But main focus remains Carvana, remains the squeeze, remains the short interest. That Prad was saying that they update the short float data tomorrow. So very interested to see what Carvana's short float looks like tomorrow. I'm wondering if people are adding to their shorts on the way up, because it doesn't really feel like that many people have gotten squeezed out of this one yet. I mean, we've had some great moves, but what were we up yesterday? I mean, it's like 10% days, 15% days. It's not like anything too crazy yet. I want to see when we're having those 30, 40% days on this name if the squeeze is truly on. So maybe some shorts adding still to this one. Maybe whoever's reserving this 36.75 price is trying to add to their short, thinking that this is the last day of the squeeze. Very excited to see where this one ends up tomorrow morning prior to the open. See where we gap to and see what people are thinking about that one. ATVI just bounced again.
Like, I knew the perk was fake, but I still ate it again on Google right now. So there we go. We'll average in on Google. We just make it, it's frustrating because we make it back there. Shout out to Kodak, but we make it back, not back, but we make something back. I told you that we were making back some money, and we did exactly do that on Meta, and we just got out at 298 for another piece. So we got out of a quarter of what we had left up there, which is good for me. So I'm pretty happy with that play as well. But ooh, that sucks right there. And so we're going to average into Meta. Sorry, average into Meta. Yeah. Okay, so that's already happened today. But there it is right now. Google. It's coming back in, baby. And if it does break down, then we are going to have another problem on our hands because here it's coming in right now, back to the downside. We did. It's like these breakouts for me, and that's why I said I don't want to jinx your Carvana trade. We were fine. We were buying off VWAP. All was good, man. And then all of a sudden we're like, okay, you know, this market does want to go the other way and go back up to the upside. And why would we think that? Well, because the market is above VWAP. It's above the 50 period. This makes a lot of sense to me. We were taking out these levels. It was right when Brendan's like, okay, the market's heading back up to its highs. I was like, yep, we were already into Google. I'm agreeing. I'm like, let's go Frank Caberna. This guy's the best. Starting to make it go up to the upside now as if that's helping the market. I'm agreeing with everything. We have CPI, we've got the power hour, and everything's all locked and loaded. And then it's like, nah, that's all right. We'll just hit 117 and start to come to the downside. But all these red outs are me getting long here at 80. So we already took a little bit of profit on that, but then we blasted it with 3 or 4 times the shares to go long through 117. And now that it's come back up, I do not want to look. Where's that animation for Neil? I do not want to look this gift horse in the mouth and take it back a little bit. That's a funny animation for sure. We talked about that, like where that even comes from. It's because if you're ever standing behind a horse, what could happen to you, Max?
You get kicked.
Yeah, exactly. So, you know, what you're trying to do is if someone gives you a gift, the gift horse, you want to look at it instead of getting it in the other way, kicked in the face. So if you're looking at it in the mouth, you go the other way around. I don't even know. It was explained to us before.
I thought that is you don't want to check its teeth because that's rude.
Gift horse in the mouth. You don't want to look at gift horse in the mouth. Yeah, that would make sense.
That's what I thought. That
would make sense. You're right again, Max. So, okay. You know what is right, though? Meta's heading back to the upside, and it looks like your Carvana is starting to go. Do I miss Neil? Well, I've been friends with Neil since grade 7. So I just graduated university a couple of years ago.
Yeah, of course.
So give or take, 20, almost 30. I'd say I've known Neil for 30 years. Maybe longer. And I've known you for 2 years, 2.5 years, 3 years.
1.5.
1.5 years.
Yeah.
No, I don't miss Neil. I mean, I like the guy, but I miss him, yes, but I mean, I feel like we all miss him, right? I mean,
Of course.
That's what it's about. So I don't miss all the bug bites that he's probably going to be showing us. I really hope not, though. It's been a beautiful couple days here. You know what it's like when you're camping and it gets, like maybe rainy and then those black flies and the mosquitoes come out. So I'm just hoping for good weather for my guy over there, because that's what it's all about. But I know that he's enjoying his time. So shout out to you, Neil. Don't worry about the show. Max has got it. Everything is fine.
Oh, yeah. Carvana keeps taking out size on the offer, but not going anywhere. So I don't know. It's just reminding me of the last 5 trading days on this name where, people are just taking all this. And then now we have that guy again on Chicago doing the same thing with his 66 lots. That's interesting. All right. This is looking exactly like yesterday, so I'm going to try to hold for high of day again. I don't know. Someone's playing games on this stock. They're taking all the liquidity. They're not making it go anywhere. So I'm assuming that means, they need some shares here, and it's going to go up. ATVI, I missed the dip. So that quadruple bottom basically, 1, 2, 3, 4. The last one only got to 80s, but you could step in front of that 75, give it a stop down there at 70, give it 10 cents, same thing that I did here, and then try to take it back up. That seems to be what's happening. That 91.30 kind of price was important for a bit, so maybe it cracks that and then goes back to the upside, but I'm not going to pay up these prices. You got to give it all the way back down to that 75, so can't really do that. What else do I got? Nothing. Meta rolling over. I wouldn't take Meta anyway. Pretty much done with that one until it breaks 300 again.
Only ridiculous people trading Meta.
I mean, I've been trading it every day for the past week or whatever, and
really
just getting
like Meta.
smoked.
I mean, quite frankly.
Quite frankly.
Quite frankly. Man, oh man. I might have to just bring some apple fritters around tomorrow. That'll be Neil's sort of jam. Then we can, you like apple fritters?
I love apple fritters, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's something interesting.
Last time you were off, I brought Neil an apple fritter, actually.
Oh, so now that Neil's off, what are you bringing me?
I don't know. What do you eat?
This is. Man, thanks, Max. Don't know what Greg is saying. Something about his girlfriend has a boyfriend or something. I have no idea. Okay, so all right, let's go. No, just joking around. Max, bring Neil an apple fritter next time he's back. I need to stay away from the apple fritters, anyways. Okay.
Same.
Yeah. Now let's look to see here about Google. Well, it went back up to 117, and as we were explaining why you never want to kick a gift horse that you're about to ride in the mouth, things like that, you could see that, I'm just going to keep butchering it, that Google, we were able to, at least you made somewhat of a good decision there, getting out a little bit here when it came back up to 117. Not profitable by any stretch of the imagination, but we did get that move back up, and right there, I'm just sitting right now at 76 to get a little bit more ahead of view up. And then unfortunately, we're going to have to get out at some point if this is wrong. And I'd rather not be all the way down there because that would be disastrous. And just like we held on to Facebook's, AKA Meta, a little bit too long, we don't want to do the same thing here again. But, I'm going to probably get out when it breaks there. Then that's going to be the bottom. And then we'll probably go to 118. So just be patient with Google if you're in it. I think you got to give it a little bit of room to breathe down here like we're doing. We're only out of this 15 cents. I don't really know why I'm too worried about it because I'm not. So I am. But let's check out Roku. This is another name that we talked about earlier as well that, we had Roku on and Brendan brought it. We didn't have anything on. But Brendan brought us the news there. And I believe it was sort of a deal there with Amazon whereby if you're watching using your Roku, I guess, Amazon, you'd be able to buy different items from Amazon. I don't know if it's the full catalog. I don't know anything about it, but that's enough to give that move right there. And whenever we hear that, you got to look for this increased volume, and that was sort of coming through there. I believe the story was given pretty early today, so that was a great move. Shout out to Brendan right now for that. Where is that? There it is right now. Goat or sheep? We do not know, but we have it there for a goat because, hey, without the news, you know, you wonder what's up with those moves. So we did have one news-based trade today for sure, and that was this guy right here, Coinbase, that ran up just the same. Actually, this looks, to be honest with you, very similar to that Roku trade, man, where you had Roku was just straight up, stair-stepping up with a big acceleration. And then this is why we started to get involved right here. It really came up on our radar when we got these big, huge volume spikes, and that happened around 92. Now, I was obviously part of that. We were first going short because, again, we thought that these volume spikes sort of meant that that move was over. So the short actually doesn't start until after those spikes. Look at this. Ramped up from 88 straight to 92. Basically in a straight line. That's where we put the shorts on. We were wrong for about the first 60 or 70 cents. Then we hit it back down at 92 and then took this all the way down to where we are now, which at one point it was cuatro, cerveza por favor, in the money down there, down to 87.50. $5 almost in the money, and now it's trying to battle back through that $90 level. So yeah, lots of back and forth here today on Coinbase, but really it was that big move now sort of settled down a little bit. Wow, it's 326 already. Wow, was not expecting that time to have been here because it doesn't really feel like the power hour, does it?
Not yet, no.
Carvana,
really.
uh-oh, it has a 35 handle. I don't like to see that.
Yeah, Carvana not looking great at the moment. There's a strange seller that was kind of following it down with 100 lots. They looked like they got filled, so kind of willing to see if this makes another low here or if we just go right back above 36. If the seller's gone, then the possibility is that we just shoot right back above 36, but looking pretty bad right now on this one. Glad I got half of this trade out, but really thought that we were going to go there. Doesn't want to break that 36.75 price, so we'll have that highlighted on the chart for tomorrow if we don't crack that again today, but really running out of time to do that. And there that seller is, right there on 35.85, 40 lots. They get filled, so do we go right back up now? I don't know. Kind of strange price action going on right now. Those sells are coming up and then they're just getting filled right away. So I don't know. I mean, it looks bearish to have that selling, but then the fact that it gets filled is not. But if they're going to keep showing up, I should just punch out of this position. I guess like 79 is now the stop for me on Carvana. That ATVI is kind of weirdly reserving at 91.20 now, so that might be a spot where you can try to get, I don't love that though,
really,
actually.
Carvana, yeah, you love Carvana, man. You should you should buy a car in one of those vending machines. We don't have any Carvanas here.
We don't have any, no.
I would love to see
There's
that,
a different service though, like Clutch or something like that.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
I heard, used car prices seem to be leveling off a little bit. Again, we'll see what Carvana, Carvana, I don't think the story about Carvana, again, is fundamentals. We talked about you're interested to see what that short float is and when that does get updated. I think that could be another catalyst to the upside, needless to say, on that one. So, okay, we could talk about cars. Why not? Meta, Neo, still got that on my mind. Neo's trying to go back to the upside right here. We're still, again, this has been a disaster for me today on Neo. Neo's actually, Meta turned out to be the worst stock of the day. We've talked about that as opposed to Meta, or opposed to Neo, but we had Neo down there today. We liked the long, it's just we weren't patient enough with it. So we're gonna wait to be a little more patient heading into the next couple of days here. But there was Meta. There was Neo again coming back up, watching out for that 11. If the market gets going, I still don't mind an 11 break, but you got to go ramp up here to see about 11. Even this break right here, 90s, that's 87. There's 90 right there, 92 actually. That could be good. It's actually off the bottoms there, and I'm going to look at this again tomorrow because I feel like as long as the market wants to go up, today it's up, but if we get a little bit better news there for Neo, it's actually held out pretty good. Despite that first drop down here today. NEO's really been holding good in these 70s. So I feel like that's going to be another trade that we can look at. And this is what it looks like on the daily. There still is a lot of room back up to the upside. We've seen a lot of these names like a Unity, like an Upstart, like Rivian that's being talked about right now that I'm going to go over, which is why I thought about this, that still have room to the upside. The only problem is this an investable name? Because of Chinese ties, obviously, with NEO. I know there's a lot of hesitancy for traders to be buying Chinese names. So that's the hesitancy there, as opposed to what Rivian's doing, all American. Lucid, of course, has that Saudi tie. Rivian did have Ford money and Amazon money backing it. And then, of course, we got that news where Rivian was going to be, or there's going to be 300 or so trucks they're sponsored by Amazon on the road. That should get some sparks again back into Rivian. So, you know, watching out for that name to see what happens here. RIVN, nice little spike up. I'd still say fade these plays. And if you can find something up here near 25.50 or so where there's clearly some resistance, I think that's a better play than trying to fade right now. So let's watch out for Rivian. Could be a tomorrow play, but again, the volume's pretty light on this today. 85 million's good, but not what it's been like the last couple of days. So trade relative volume against that 85 million. So, all right, another name that you've been on that we haven't talked too much about, Activision.
Yeah, there's something weird going on at this 91.20 price. I'm wondering if I could try to get long here and see if this is going to continue going up. Obviously, if that price breaks, you know, you could, I mean, is it going to flush all that much on me? I'm not sure. I feel like you could, I'm going to try the long here at 91.21. Stop below if we break it, give it like 5 seconds to go right back above, or else stop out and see if we can get back up to like 91.5, 92 before the close. This 91.60 key price earlier and the 91.30 where we kind of turned off of previously. I did stop out of Carvana eventually, probably waited a little too long on that one. But I just didn't believe that seller. There was something very weird about that seller on Carvana that made me think that they were trying to stop everybody out and, you know, send it back up. But apparently the selling is genuine. This is looking like it's got a fade for today, and we will see where it ends up tomorrow. So ATVI, only thing that I got going on into the close. We'll see if this one wants to bid back up. Seems like a good price for this name. If the buyout price is indeed $95, I mean, why wouldn't you buy it right now? But, you know, lots of complications with a deal like this, lots of reasons why you might not want to take that risk on. And, I mean, they used to have, they had some issues with the European approval, but I don't know if those are solved now that these American ones are solved. I don't really know the specifics of the deal, but we shall see on this one. What else is going on here? Robinhood is almost at high of day. I didn't notice that that touched $12 today. Up another 6.2%. That's interesting on Hood there.
Robinhood's
Does
another one of those
Robinhood
names
want to
that's been
take
really
out?
going, like a Kathy Wood name there.
Yeah. Does this want to take out that 12 again? Probably not. This is looking pretty chill going into the close, but great daily chart. That 12 level probably on watch for tomorrow's trade. We got that 1270 area that's looking pretty juicy for a potential breakout price on the daily there. I'll probably throw Robinhood onto a chart right now, actually, for tomorrow. We can replace XPEV because those Chinese EVs are kind of boring at the moment. I don't know. Oh, there goes Carvana right down to 35. So, yeah, Carvana's really giving it all up into the close here. That selling was genuine. Should have just believed it, I guess. And I mean, this is a pretty simple trade to execute if you do want it short. I'm not really someone who wants to short a squeeze name like Carvana, so it's not really something I'm going to do. But very easy way to execute this. It looks like it's about to break out. Fails it, you can just get short right here in the 70s, in the low 70s, and now you got a $1.50 winner on right there, heading into that 35 potential breakdown. Yeah, interesting action. I guess maybe profit taking, or maybe people adding to the shorts like we were talking about. And that ATVI is still holding at that price. That bid reserve holding up right now. Now we got some size there. We got size at 18, 17. So kind of looking decent here, but I want this to go pretty quickly now. Not wanting this to hang out for too long because some algo is going to want to break that reserve price and potentially send us down.
I was going to yell out to Obi, but it's gone now. There was just a big size there on Amazon. There was like 1,000 lots, so that's going to be 100,000 shares. That just was like randomly showing up there on Amazon. And we're still long on this name, but we're still long from before, right down into here, 128. We just let this go to see if we did get any higher on Amazon. I kind of wanted to break out through 130 to see if that was going to come through today, but that doesn't appear to be happening. And there goes some of our Google, of course, has to go down because that's another name that we had, and that just broke lower as well. So a little bit upset there about that Google trade back in. We gave back a little bit, well, all of what we made on that initial move. We're still long this name. I didn't want to get out of it all, but it did break 70. We were trying to hold it against that bottom right there of 60s, so that's going to be something that we're going to wait out for here as the market's right back down to this period here of the 50 period right there for the market. So obviously the move coming down in, and that's enough to stop me out. So we'll wait to see if we can get it back again though a little bit later. So that's what's happening right now with Google. I still like to see if we can get a run into the close. That's why we wanted to hold 25% of this trade. So we are going to do that. We're going to hold a little bit and see what happens here into the close for Google. We did take another piece out right now, right here of Meta. Again, a good trade. Was just thinking that if this market does fall down, do we really want to have Meta on board? No. So let's just get out a piece and then we'll hold for that dream in case it does come back up to the upside. We still have a little bit of time left. There's still, well, not that much time. Brendan gave us that number. It's 23 million to buy, 23 million max, so don't get too excited, to buy. Let me see. Yeah, Max is excited. That's his excited look right there. So 23 million to buy. That's not going to help out the Carvana or ATVI, and I don't think it's going to help out any positions I have either. So let's just wait to see what happens at 350, almost at 850. Let's see what happens at 350 when those numbers do come out, and we'll be able to get a little bit of a better look at what's going to happen with the rest of these names. But CPI tomorrow, any thoughts initially or not really yet?
I don't know. We'll see what happens. Given that the market is so certain about this next rate hike, I'm thinking if the CPI print comes in super light there, we could get some upside potential. I don't think the downside makes a ton of sense given that we are so certain that we're getting this rate hike. Like I don't know, what's the downside to a strong CPI print? I don't know.
Maybe higher for longer?
Maybe. I don't know. It's possible. It's possible. I just don't see it really affecting the market.
I mean, there's a lot of
that
traders
quickly, short term. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that one, but yeah, if we do get that very light print, I think something could happen, and we will be here to trade that at 8:30 tomorrow.
It should be a good number there. I mean, I think it's. Let's just see a surprise. Like pretty much. The last couple of reads have been sort of in line there. Let's see if we can get a surprise on one of this, and then we'll find out where we're going to go. Go back to 245 to find out when we just rewind the stream. Go back to 245 when we had Frank Caberna on. Him and Brendan talked all about sort of expectations and where they were thinking the market could go if and when it does come out higher or lower. And you can hear some explanation for that. I want to thank Frank for all of his insights, of course, into that as well. All right. Yeah, still 338. I'm not really seeing too much going on here today. We can look at, you know what I wanted to look at though, was the second day play was Kava. Yesterday we broke above that 44 area. And another, wow, what a good move today for Kava, up to 47. Isn't that its IPO high or so? Yeah. So right there, comes right back in and takes down those highs again, Kava. Yesterday we had coverage initiation on many different brokerages came out yesterday or whatever and uplifted this stock through that $44 level, and that's kind of where we ended up. Then today we get up to 47. So we'll keep this in mind. Again, coverage initiated by many on Kava yesterday, all with higher price targets. So today, nice move for them right off the open down. And then I don't know what happened down here at 43.50, but for some reason, news, and that sparked it up $4 up to that 47. So 350 up there, and now giving some back on Kava, but that's good. Nice volume, 3 million shares for a recent IPO. It's always nice to see IPOs that are somewhere around their price, not like PWM. Let's have a quick look at that, as I know this is a name that's heavily traded as well. Down to 20 bucks today. To say that we didn't think that was happening would be a mistake. I think a lot of us thought PWM was probably going the other way.
Yeah, that Kava 50 break, I'd be interested to see for sure. ATVI stopped me out. I just got back in because it looks like it wants to rebid back above that 91.20. We'll see what happens there. I'm going to give this a couple cents, see if this little liquidity grab scenario plays out in my favor, back up into that like 91.50. Looking like there's a decent amount of buying coming, but see what happens there. Tesla, I thought was interesting at that 269 kind of price. Rolls around right off of 269.50. I don't know. I kind of figured we would roll over here, and now we just rebid right off of VWAP there. So Tesla looking strong to end the day. I was thinking we would end up, somewhere down near 267, 265 today on this name. Now that it's starting to look weak, back to that ATVI, right back above that 91.20. So let's see if we can take out these prices here, 91.30, and get into 91.50. Maybe a little run into the close last 20 minutes. Some people wanted to buy this one up. I don't know. Potential to work here, but just kind of a hunch trade on this ATVI position here as we now kind of dip right back below that 20 price. So I think we get below like 10, probably just punch out of this one. Lots of buying still coming in. I don't know what to do with this. Maybe just give it down to the low there, $91. That makes some sense to me. I don't know. Meta's back at 298 right now.
Oh, believe me, I am well aware of where Meta's at. I think that was a good trade that you had it first time through 298. Can we not take that again, or what are you doing anything with Meta today, or just going to wait for tomorrow?
No. 18 minutes left. I don't think we got the time to do that.
I cannot believe I got stopped out of my half or 2/3 of my position down there. Sorry, 3/4 or half. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to look that back up because right now it feels like it was well in the past. But we got stopped out there at 295.50, and then it just mooned after that pretty much. I mean, that's up now 250 from that level. We are cashing it out, like I said. Not as disaster. It's still a disaster because again, it's this kind of dropout that really hit me there. As we finally wanted to get out at that level, 297.50, where I thought there was a decent area of support. Turns out to be not the case at all, but we did hold it, got it back in. Then again, look, trying to buy that support down there until it wasn't, and then it flushed out, and then unfortunately had to get stopped out at 295.50. Good thing we were able to hold some back for the move back up. And then again, like, honestly, man, like, I do that na stuff again, but we've already gone over that. Straight fire here, downside right now on Google. Look what happens to me, stopped out. Of course, we got some more back in. And look, we get stopped out, then booms to the upside right back to where we'd be making money again on this stupid stock. So yeah, a little frustrating today, as you can hear. But yeah, nothing to worry about. It's just always not a great experience. There it is, out at 87 again. So we're making some money back, all as well, but not as well as it could have been when you look back at some of these trades. So happy with the outcome, just not overly thrilled with some of the processes that I've had today. So yeah, good day, could always be better. I think that's what I'm kind of getting at here for some of these decisions that we made. When you break 300 and it doesn't go, you got to give it some space back. And I know, getting out right away is fine, and that's good. But so many times we've seen that break and then it just rips up. And I wanted to make sure that I did have some shares on board. So although we'll justify some of the losses, still a loss is a loss is a loss, and I'm not happy with it. We're made back almost pretty much everything on that dump off on Google right now, as there it is, 93, 94. Give me that print. There it is, yes sir. So we'll do that. We'll cash out a little bit on Google, as there it comes right back up to the upside. We were waiting. Look, this is the break that we were waiting for, but of course we have to get stopped out under VWAP again. So that sucks, but there it is right there. Stopped out, got some more back in. So now that it's going up, it's going to be, it's going to be net an equal trade. but that's not good enough because you want to make money. What you lose on getting out right there and you make back, it's just a zero trade. So yeah, happy for where it's going and happy if you guys didn't get stopped out, but I did. So there it goes right back up to the upside. So anyways, good on you, Google. Good on you. I'm still going to be there for this close. Hopefully it does come a bigger buy. Any updates on that number there, Brendo? I mean, it's 23 million, but look what's happening to the market. We're starting to get elevated now to the upside, so that's going to be good for all of us that are trying to hold on to some of these longs as we take out new, kind of not new highs, but new sort of afternoon highs right now. There goes Google breaking 117.
Nice. Carvana bounced right off that 35 price, so going to keep that one in the back of the mind for tomorrow. 35 seems to have bounced a bunch of times today. This Activision seems like it wants to start to go, but it needs to just take out this 23 cents for whatever reason. We'll see if those buyers do step up. Seems like we're holding above the 20 now. Yeah, I mean, I got nothing else into the close. Tesla's right at 270. Is that a fade into?
That's so crazy. I could have made everything back. What's going on with Tesla? Someone said Elon made a post?
Elon made a post and Tesla goes up.
I mean, he owns Twitter. I mean, we can go find out what Elon was posting about. I'm following him right now. Okay, at Elon. I mean, I don't know if, I don't want to, let's see what his post was all about here. Here's Elon Musk right here. Let's find out. Oh yeah, wow, okay, there it is. Yeah, that looks cool. Look at that Cybertruck right there. That's pretty badass. You get that wrap on there right now. That looks awesome. That's like what my golf bag is like this, except for blue. That's pretty sick, man. I'm gonna like that. Good job there, Elon. That looks pretty sick right there. By the way, your Tesla can protect you from a bioweapon attack. Okay, that's good. HEPA filters. Yeah, look at that. That's pretty cool. Wow, this is pretty awesome. All these things. There's no doubt about that, man. There's no doubt about that. Right there. So you can go into, Randy was actually talking about it the other day. I don't know if you heard about it on the show here. He was mentioning that you can, with your Rivian, you can put it into pet safe mode. So there's a lot of people that will lock their cars or whatever, leave their dog in it. And there's some sort of a warning or whatever that appears that is like, warning, the dog or whatever in this car is completely safe. No need, not necessary to call the police. So that was pretty cool, and I thought that was pretty fun. But yeah, it looks like that's maybe sparking it out right now as, yeah, let's go, man. I was just playing around. I thought Meta, I was like, yeah, Meta can get back to 300.
It might just do
It ain't
that.
far from that. And I was sort of saying, man, I could have just made my day on a lot of these stocks. Look what Google's doing right now. All these stocks can basically, if they were playing Monopoly, they could all go to hell and without passing go. Because I got stopped out today on so many different trades at bad levels. I'm going to have to regroup a little bit. But like getting stopped out there and then this happens, is that for real though?
Ouch.
You know, and that's what trading's all about, man. We're going to be honest with you. Traders will make mistakes all the time. And I don't, again, below VWAP, it hit that 70 level. I got out thinking that it was coming down here. And there it goes right up to the upside. And then the same thing true for me on Meta. Look, happy, it's $3 in the money. I'm going to do this anyways because I like this. You know, now we're $3 club in the money here. But again, that has nothing to do with anything because I'm not a happy camper. As we got stopped out right there. I would have, if I don't have that tick and we only have this long and it just doesn't go down another 50 cents, we make the whole thing back. I mean, I would have got out, so we would have not been full position, but that's a great trade. Look at Meta, right back to 299. Unbelievable run here at the end of the day, as well for Google. I hope you guys were buying it up off VWAP. That's all I could say. We got carried away with that buy when it took 117. That's really what screwed me up. So if I've learned anything today, Max, it would just be to be patient. Maybe don't take breakouts and take them on stocks like what you're talking about, Carvana, on things like that. Stocks that actually have some decent volume in it. Yeah. Google didn't really have a reason to break too much higher than 117 there. So that's on me, although right now it's 30 cents, 25 cents in the money.
Yeah, speaking of Carvana, bounces right off 35, once again back into the 70s. So yeah, I mean, there's still a bid on this name. Interesting price action for sure. We're going to be watching again tomorrow. No trades left today, you know, only 10 minutes left. Can't really do anything with this at the moment, I don't think, unless we're breaking highs.
I'm getting some out.
The market is breaking highs right now. 15,250 gets
Breaking
taken out.
necks.
And making new highs on NASDAQ. So give it the last 10 minutes to make its breakout. That's unexpected for sure on this market today. Could never get its legs under it until just now.
30 seconds.
Interesting for sure. And I mean, I guess,
I cannot believe this meta.
I don't think CPI decides what happens tomorrow on the market. I feel like even if we get a strong print, we just buy it up.
Yeah, let's just buy things like uncontrollably. Okay, so we just got out a meta right there. I mean, I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth or in the back right there, because look what's happening right now, again, to this market. I mean, there the imbalances come out, and now we get to see what's happening now. There we go, man. Now 350 in the money on this name. Look what's happening to Google. Nice move upside again. Let's just take a piece out. Hey, why not? We already got stopped out lower. Apple with a nice buy, helping to bring this market to the promised land as well. So let's go Google. Nice move to the upside rate, or sorry, Apple. Nice move to the upside. Google also, we just talked about that, with that nice move to the upside as well. So yeah, so far here, some good plays into the close. I think it's well worth just watching to see what happens. We do have CPI tomorrow. We are now 10 minutes away from the next open market before we get CPI tomorrow. So that's going to be a good thing to watch out for. My eyes are still watching this Google and watching Meta, because here goes Meta trying to get higher, man. Like as if we're 350 in the money. Absolutely crazy move. Be patient with everything. I think patience pays, not only in life, but in trading. And patience is a virtue that I don't really have, and I should, because this has been definitely humbling today to see some of these plays really work off of levels that we thought. But then again, and this is where, you know, if Neil was here and things like that, and we would be talking about it, and that is, and he's the same way as me, and I think that you need to be this way, is that you got to stick with what your strategies are. And I mean, if I'm going to get out when we break through VWAP, and I'm also going to use a lot of VWAP trading strategies for my advantage as well. If you follow me at TraderTV Sean, you're going to see I post a lot of trades that hit when VWAP hits. And they're what I look at, right? So if trades are going to fall down because, you know, it breaks VWAP like it does right here and I wind up getting out, then so be it. We've made a lot of excellent trades with that exact strategy in mind as well. So, you know, just keep that in mind. What makes one day doesn't make the next. And we've made a decent amount of money back here in the afternoon. So I want to say thank you to the market for that. But also, you know, tomorrow's another day, and we're really able to watch out for that market move tomorrow with CPI coming through. And Trader Prad's going to bring that to you at 4 o'clock. Talk a little bit about some of these aftermarket moves and maybe what's happened here in the afternoon, of course, as well. That number came out, 2.5 billion to buy. 2.5 billion to buy.
Really? So
there we go. So you want to talk about potentially a little signal of what might be coming towards tomorrow? If, you know, if they put out 2.2 billion, that's New York stocks only to buy, by the way. You know, why would they do that? And I mean they, just, you know, the real money pushing this market around. If they thought it was a sell event tomorrow, don't you think that this would be a sell event right now? I mean, the market just took out day's high when we're waiting for CPI. So, you know, that's going to be something interesting. I hope all the boys and girls behind us are in here tomorrow early, because that CPI trade could be nice right at 8:30.
Yeah, for sure. Carvana chilling at VWAP. That Tesla was the fade that I thought it would be. Off that 270, only goes like 15 cents above, and then you can short back below. You get 50 cents there. That's a decent little scalp at the end of the day. I didn't take it. And ATVI, I was totally wrong. There's a seller at the end of the day, not a buyer. So I stopped out of that one. Looks like this one wants to go and test those lower prices. We'll see where ATVI is trading at today. Tomorrow, once the market gets to digest this news a little better. I mean, it seems like a pretty gold play to just buy 91s and sell 94 or 95s in a week if that's available. But obviously, there must be some other complications to that. What else we got going on? That PRFX that the boys on the midday show were covering halted down into the close. This thing, I don't even know how many times it's halted today. Probably like 20. PRFX. Probably like 20 times. It halted up and down today. Now halted down 1657, tapping 1491. So I guess That's the rug pull or the quadunk, whatever you want to call it. Looks like this one is sadly dead for today. What else is holding up today?
Not much.
Not a whole lot.
I mean, I thought Google was doing pretty good today, to be honest with you. We had been looking at a negative Google for a while there, and then Google to be up 0.5% basically with the market. I think that that's a pretty good take right there for many of us, so I like that trade as well. I think there's a good potential there. Tesla, again, really moving here into the close. So Tesla's been a nice trade today as well, moving up to 270 there, back into 270, I should say. It was a good trade this morning for Tesla. You know, we got back and forth there, but it did hit that 270 again and just putting that work in again down there at 270. So let's watch out for that level possibly tomorrow. But hey, it's only 5 minutes left. Did we get a little bit of a reversal there in some of these names? Coke still there. Coinbase, we got to get out of this at some point. It's just dancing around 89. Oh, we did get our Amazon out at 80, so that was a great trade. That's 70 cents there from that bottom. We got out near the highs, so holding on to that seems to have been the right call there into the close. And then after that, man, not much else. So we'll have to watch out as this market's still moving around and still dancing. So some good opportunities. We got out of some Google there, and Meta, again, good out for me at 299. I mean, can't do much else now. We just have a small piece. Just waiting to see what happens here at the end of the day. We take down this 297.50. We're going to get out. But so far, so good here. To end the day on a positive note with a couple good winners there. Google, nicely done. And then Meta holding on for that $4 was a good one there. Just wish we had made that decision a little earlier. That's all.
ATVI goes and bounces off that same price one more time. So 90.75. Got to highlight that one on the chart for tomorrow. Yeah, I mean, nothing's really happening at the moment. Nothing to speak of exactly. Look back at those imbalances. Looks like Coca-Cola still has a decent
still
sell.
hanging out, yeah.
What? Yeah.
Meta, Google. I mean, I'm just trying to get out of everything that I have. So if there's anything you see, just go ahead.
Coca-Cola is a sell, and it's ripping into the close right now. That's a strange thing to see. Maybe we have that coded backwards somehow. But yeah, co.ny ripping into the close on a $75 million sell imbalance. Strange thing to see. Other than that, really nothing on there at all. Nothing to speak of on the imbalance locator. So see where these large caps close today. Carvana's still kind of bidding up, still trying to make a bit of a move into the close. I mean, I think that 37 level tomorrow morning off the open could be something very, very interesting, but we will wait and see for that. I don't know. I mean, Meta, I can't believe Meta got all the way back to 299.20 going into the...
Meta is crazy.
This name, I got to really change the way that I trade Meta, I think. I think you have to understand like how much it wants to move around and how bad the liquidity is on it, and just take way less shares and I guess give it the space that it needs and not take any profit until it makes the move that you're looking for. Maybe I will consider that on my next attempt at that 300 break. But looks like we might be getting that tomorrow morning for sure. Oh, we got a super chat?
We do. We have a super chat. So shout out to Candy. What's up, Candy? You guys are the best. Been watching since 2019. Thanks to Sean and his sticky note. Boom. There we go. That's what we're all about, baby. Hold on a second. I'm just trying to get out of some of these positions as we're trying to clear this out. And his sticky note, my $20 account. Shut up. That can't be true, can it, Candy? Their $20 account went from $20 to $2,534. So let's go, man. Thank you so much for that. We'll give you props up for that, Candy. I mean, that's fantastic. $20 to $20,000? Hello, you win on that one. So Candy must be dandy for a return like that. So congratulations and thank you so much for that super chat. I will buy myself some new glasses so I can read the market a little bit better moving forward. But I got to get all these stop orders. I got to get canceled for myself right now as Meta's still doing well. Don't know who's trying to phone me here, but someone is as we go. So we're going to watch out for that. Coming back in, Google downside. Everything seems to be making a little bit of money now into the close. Sorry, Google upside into the close. There's only now I don't know if Kat's going to be ringing the bell, but we now only have 30 seconds to go. We haven't even done a likes count yet, so let's hit that like button. 600 likes. You have to be kidding me with everything that we've showed you guys here today. Hit that like. Here comes Kat. If that doesn't get to 1,000, man, that's it. We're done. No more Kat at the bell. I am threatening with her today. So let's go, man. Meta, nice trade. I got to close this out, so wrap it up a little bit there, Max. I'm going to get out of some of these positions.
Yeah, it looks like we're going to be closing just over the prior resistance, that 15,240 price, giving us so much resistance. But we only have 2 seconds left, so here we go. And one, it's closed.
And that's a wrap. So I'm just going to have to try to get out of some more of my meta positions here, and we'll do that, and then we'll see what happens here into the close. But so far, so good. We actually got a decent, Google was able to get out for us as well, and what closes out a very, very profitable afternoon. It was everything that happened in between there that was not great. But Google, nice move to the upside. Glad we were able to hit that one. And we made back a decent amount of money, putting us back into where we need to be for the, still on the L today. I don't have, some people on the show don't really like to say if they're a positive or negative on the day, but I am happy to do that for everybody today. Negative for your boy. Oh, another super chat right now coming through. Well, we hit Neo early. We got hit on that, and then we got that meta trade, but we made some back, so that's all good. What's up, Newman? Shout out to Newman right now. Thank you for that $9.99 as well, man. Thank you for all the super chats as we go. And there's the 1K.
Nice.
So there it is, man. Thank you so much for that. Corey Waters, positive. You guys let me know if you guys are positive in here. Put a 1 for positive, a 2 for negative. You know, we should actually have, that's something else we should do. Maybe we should put a poll up near the end of the day just to see, like 50-50, because generally speaking in this game, it is going to kind of be like that, you know, because every time someone, like the same people that have the idea of buying 300 on meta, some people will go short.
Yeah,
you know, they'll be able to make that money too. So, yeah, it goes back and forth. But there you go. 1, 1, 2, 1. See, pretty mixed up. 0. I like that 0. Oh, wow. The 1s are the positive. We like that one. Hit the sirens for that. It seems like the chat is more positive than negatives there today. So, hey, congratulations. Anyone want this seat? You can come sit here for sure. But no, great trading opportunities. And I really thank Candy for her note there, because that's why I do the sticky note literally every single day, and is to give some trading ideas. Hope to be able to follow them myself, and really glad that some of you do as well. Okay, Brendan, what a good interview with Frank there today. The market definitely made some moves there at the end of the day. Excited for tomorrow. Let's go find out how the market's finished.
No, I am not. Just mentioning to my left is Trader Prad. IWM, the Russell, up a full % when all is said and done, heading into this print tomorrow morning in the pre-market. Remember, 8:30, make sure you're with us. 0.89 for the Dow. The Q's about 0.5%, SPY about 0.64 to the upside. So good luck. Yeah, oil, nice day. USO anyways, 2.25% in positive territory.
That's funny. What's up? To people in the chat. I mean, really, some funny comments going through there about people's days. But okay, man, good day again. Thanks, Max, for joining today on the first and the last show, and then we sandwiched in there the midday there with Pratt, and he's going to come back right now into the close. But it's 4:03. Tomorrow's number, man. We're going to be ready to rock and roll. Get lots of sleep. We have CPI tomorrow. Good day today. Let's hope the Carvana can go to 40, then 50, then 60, and then we'll make a lot of money on that, and then we can go forever golfing, because we'll just use the Carvana profits for that, and golf forever. So thanks again for watching. A big shout out. Thanks, Kat, for ringing that bell. Big shout out. Ramin over there, Fabian, great job today. Obi on the midday, killed it again with Prad. So thanks to him for that, and thanks to Brendo. Mark saved us a little bit there. We had some technical issues. Mark, Rob, and Prad actually all worked on those as well. So good day today. Thank you for watching. Tomorrow's going to be another one, man. We're getting into bank earnings, inflation data. Should be a good one. Without any further ado, let's throw it over to Prad. Thank you to everybody. Thanks, Bears vs. Bulls, and everybody for watching. Talk to everyone tomorrow at 8:30. Ciao.
Welcome back, everyone, to another segment of Trader TV Live. It is the after hours, the after party. We're going to have a lot of fun here, as we always do, looking at everything that moved today, preparing for everything that might move tomorrow, and looking at everything that is moving in the after hours at the moment. Sadly, no real earnings plays. I think I also have to click this button, and then we'll check if it works.